Hello, today's daily reading comes from the book of the Apocrypha. We are reading from the book of Jasher, chapter 43, verses 25 through 48, and it reads as follows. Oh, that I had died in your stead, Joseph, my son, for it grieves me sadly for you, my son. Oh, my son, Joseph, my son, where are you, and where have you been drawn? Arouse, arouse from your place, and come and see my grief for you. O my son Joseph, come now and number the tears gushing from my eyes down my cheeks, and bring them up before the Lord, and that his anger may turn from me. O Joseph, my son, how did you fall? By the hand of one by whom no one had fallen from the beginning of the world unto this day. For you have been put to death by the smiting of an enemy, inflicted with cruelty. But surely I know that this has happened to you on account of multitude of my sins. Arouse now and see how bitter is my trouble for you, my son. Although I did not rear you, nor fashion you, nor give you breath and soul, but it was God who formed you and built your bones and covered them with flesh, and breathed in your nostrils and breath of life, and then he gave you unto me. Now truly God who gave you unto me, he has taken you from me, and such then has befallen you. And Jacob continued to speak unto these words concerning Joseph, and he wept bitterly. He fell to the ground and became still. And all the sons of Jacob, seeing their father's trouble, they repented on what they had done, and they also wept bitterly. And Judah rose up and lifted up his father's head from the ground and placed it upon his lap, and he wiped his father's tears from his cheeks. And Judah wept an exceedingly great weeping, while his father's head was reclining upon his lap, still as stone. And the sons of Jacob saw their father's trouble, and they lifted up their voices and continued to weep. And Jacob was yet lying upon the ground, still as a stone. And all his sons and servants and his servants' children rose up and stood round him to comfort him, and he refused to be comforted. And the whole household of Jacob rose up and mourned a great mourning on account of Joseph, and their father's trouble. And the intelligence reached Isaac, and the son of Abraham, the father of Jacob, and he wept bitterly on account of Joseph, and he and all his household. And he went from his place where he dwelt in Hebron, and his men with him. And he comforted Jacob his son, and he refused to be comforted. And after this, Jacob rose up again from the ground, and his tears were running down his cheeks. And he said unto his sons, Rise up and take your swords and your bows, and go out into the field, and seek whether you can find my son's body, and bring it unto me, that I may bury it. Seek also, I pray you, among the beasts, and hunt them, and that which will come to the first before you seize, and bring it unto me. Perhaps the Lord will this day pity my affliction, and prepare before you that which did tear my son in pieces, and bring it unto me, and I will avenge the cause of my son. And his sons did as their father had commanded them. And they rose up early in the morning, and each took his sword and his bow in his hand, and they went out into the field to hunt the beast. And Jacob was still crying aloud and weeping, and walking to and fro in the house, and smiting his hands together, saying, Joseph, my son, Joseph, my son. And the sons of Jacob went into the wilderness to seize the beast. And behold, the wolf came toward them, and they seized him, and brought him unto his father. And they said unto him, This is the first we have found, and we have brought him unto you as you did command us. And your son's body we could not find. And Jacob took the beast from the hands of his sons, and he cried out with a loud and weeping voice, holding the beast in his hand, and he spoke with the bitter heart into the beast. Why did you devour my son Joseph? And how did you have no fear of the God of the earth, or my trouble for my son Joseph? And you did devour my son for naught, because he committed no violence, and did thereby render me culpable on his account. Therefore God will require him that is persecuted. And the Lord opened the mouth of the beast in order to comfort Jacob with its words, and it answered Jacob, and spoke these words unto him. As God lives who created us in the earth, and as your soul lives, my Lord, I did not see your son, neither did I tear him to pieces. But from a distant land I also came to seek my son, who went from me this day, and I know not whether he be living or dead. And I came this day into the field to seek my son, and your sons found me, and seized me, and increased my grief. And I have this day brought me before you, and I have now spoken all my words to you. And now, therefore, O Son of Man, I am in your hands. And do unto me this day as it may seem good in your sight. But by the life of God who created me, I did not see your Son, nor did I tear him to pieces. Neither has the flesh of man entered my mouth all the days of my life. And when Jacob heard the words of the beast, he was greatly astonished, and sent out the beast from his hand, and she went her way. And Jacob was still crying aloud and weeping for Joseph day after day, and he mourned for his son many days. Amen.